Welcome to the HR Happy Hour work break. You're here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose, you're all
Hey,
smiles.
I am. It's 5 something. It's after 5. I'm not quite happy houring it yet. I've been busy all day.
Ooh.
I'm watering it up. I'm trying to stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, man. I hear it's like sunny and warm where you are. Is that
It
true?
is. We had a little pre-show conversation for a minute, and I did brag on the weather here in the greater Charlotte area where it's sunny and about 62 degrees, and I was outside for a few minutes, which was lovely.
You know what? It is snowy here
Ooh.
in Waterloo, Illinois, like inches and inches of snow, like go build a snowman snow. It's actually really pretty. And I've got nowhere to go now, but I was out in it and it was fine. So I got nowhere to be. No,
Yeah.
I said I have a tiny, short mini rant.
Let's go. I love a good rant.
We watched the Super Bowl, and look, I am all for, I have been social distancing. The few times where I go out, I make sure I'm not going where any crowds are. I've got my mask on, sanitizer, blah, 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 right? All the things. And being really careful because I have older parents. So, but kids are back in school where I am. Sports have started back up. It's my daughter's first bowling meet with the school today.
Exciting.
And it's in Bethalto, Illinois, which is about an hour north of here.
Crossroads of the Midwest. Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Got it, right? And long story short, I drove an hour in this weather to get her there because even though she's allowed to drive herself to bowling, they won't let them drive that far, even with parents' permission, which I'm already mad about.
Okay.
She's 17 and a half.
We're
she
in the
should be able to drive
bureaucracy
herself
here.
to bowling.
I get it. Okay. Sure.
And so I'd have to stop work, drive her an hour to bowling, right? Which is great. And I can't go in. I can't go watch my own.
I was wondering what the rant was. Was it actually the driving thing? No. So the rant is you can't now be a spectator.
I can't be a spectator at my own kid's sport, even though school is in, even though you could wear a mask, but if I were to go to the same bowling alley, just as a person, want to bowl, yeah, I could do that. That's totally legal.
Don't you have a disguise or two in the car, like a big red wig or something, kerchief, Jackie Onassis sunglasses, and kind of just snuck in? You might have been able to pull that off.
I'll tell you what. No, I want to follow the rules, but that's the thing I think people get frustrated with inconsistency, right? Have some consistency, whatever. Her coach is the best though, because he live streamed it for us. It's still actually live streaming. I stepped away to come do this. So I am getting to watch
bored with this show. You could go watch that and be entertained.
I can, yeah.
Okay.
I could share the link to the live stream of bowling. No, she started out doing really well. So I'm
awesome.
Hopefully that's continuing. So what's up with you? What's going on with you? Any good stuff?
A couple things. Trish, I was reading an article. I don't subscribe to the magazine, but I in my feed reader, I have lots of things in my feed reader: tech news, HR news, business news. I also have some fitness sites. I read sometimes Men's Health, which is a never-ending source of fun and laughter.
Men's Health.
Because I've joked about Men's Health before in the show because the articles are ridiculous. Like, watch what happens to this guy when he did 800 push-ups a day for 30 days, the before and after. But
yeah, it's perfect.
Today I read a piece, and I'm not blaming Men's Health. I'm blaming someone else. I don't know who. The article was something about how to get started with intermittent fasting and how it could improve your health. And I'm thinking to myself, one, that sounds awful. Intermittent. And then second, I thought, intermittent fasting needs a rebrand. It should be intermittent eating. Like, who's going to sign up for fasting at any time, no matter how long the fasting is? Everything about fasting sounds awful, sounds painful, sounds like no fun at all. They need to change that, because I'm not signing up for any kind of fasting.
You are absolutely right.
Sign me up for 12 consecutive hours of eating. I might bite on that. I'm not biting on fasting. So get a little better, Men's Health. That's my mini rant.
You know what? I think you've got something there. I think also though, am I intermittent fasting? Like, I tend to forget breakfast, wind up having lunch maybe at 2 p.m. Is that intermittent fasting? Am I can you be an accidental intermittent faster?
I think you can. I think if you just forget to eat, that's a form of intermittent fasting. But
there you go.
I don't think
I'm gonna start saying that. I'm gonna put that on my LinkedIn profile. I'm an intermittent faster.
Well, not me. I'm going to be eating pretty much once the show ends for the rest of the night.
You should be an intermittent eater.
As much as I can eat. Trish, you're a TikTok person. I know you keep an eye on things there.
I love it.
Did you
Mhm.
get the memo about do not put Gorilla Glue in your hair? Are you aware of this?
I'm aware of it, but only from Twitter, actually. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know why. How did that start? Why are people putting Gorilla Glue in their hair? What's going on?
Apparently it holds it in place, but it's not meant for something like that. And the funny thing about it is the Gorilla Glue people like had to sort of announce publicly, like, hey, don't put this on your skin, don't put this on your hair, don't swallow it. It's meant to secure things like, wood, laminate, tile, metal objects. And so, yeah, it's a bad scene for the person who did that. So hopefully that's not
It's
catching
the
on.
same generation who ate Tide Pods, Steve. You can't expect too much. You cannot expect too much. And guess what? They're in the work. They're coming into the workforce. We got to be careful.
Yeah, that's a troubling sign. I'm a little bit worried. I mean, there are things I don't know how to do. I was trying to exercise. I was doing my in-home exercise routine, which is all I've done. I've still not, for anybody who cares, I've not gone back to the gym since last March. So I'm doing the in-home exercise thing last night. I think after the show probably is when I was doing it. And one of my smoke alarms started to intermittently started to beep or chirp, right? And that's typically the signal that the battery needs to be replaced, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's no fire going on that I could tell. I looked around.
Unless it's an intermittent fire.
Yeah, occasional fire. And so I got a little stool. I got up there. It was in the ceiling in the hallway on the second floor of my house. And I unhooked it, took the battery out, right? Okay. I'll go look for another battery later. It's fine. I want to finish my workout. I get back into the thing. Boom, beep again. Kept beeping. Now,
hardwired, babe.
This was hardwired. It was hardwired into the ceiling too. In addition to having a battery, why it needs both of those things, I don't understand. But I did. So then I said, I broke down. I said, I don't really know how to unhook this thing from the wire, so I'll just find another battery, which I did have one. I had a replacement battery. Okay. When I put the replacement battery into said smoke detector, it not only just beeped, it full on alarmed and wouldn't stop, like as loud as possible. And of course, I was shocked by this because I was holding it right in front of my face.
Right, yeah.
When it almost knocked me off the stool.
Were you on a ladder?
I was on a step stool, not a full-on ladder. So I still could have been injured. It was quite precarious. So then finally, Trish, I unhooked it from the wiring. I figured out how to do that. And now, as we speak, 24 hours later, the whole assembly's on the floor in the hallway upstairs, not hooked up. Who knows? I went to bed last night hoping the carbon monoxide didn't come and kill me, because it was also the carbon monoxide detector as well, the dual detector. Yep. It was awful. Can't we figure out a better way to handle all of that? Is there an app for that? A smart thing of this? Because this is the very old school 9-volt battery.
Right. Mine too.
I mean, I haven't researched this ever. This is a great, but it's awful.
I think it would be interesting. We need like an HR professional from a fire alarm company to come on and tell us about this. No, that's so true. That it happened to me, I don't know, a few months ago. Right before why is this too? Like, I always change it with, spring forward, fall back. I do the whole thing.
Okay. That's very diligent.
Yeah, absolutely. So it doesn't beep. And then, one started going off. Same thing. But yeah, it took like 30 minutes to get it all worked out.
Yeah, it's taken me 24 hours and still not worked out. So you're ahead of the game on it. So Trish, last thing for me today, our podcast with Martin Hartshorn from When I Work dropped this morning, or maybe accurately at noon Eastern time. I edited it this morning. It was really fun. One of the cool, fun things we did on that show, we did the question of the day. In addition to talking about the shift workforce, the hourly workforce, and some of the cool stuff When I Work is doing, we talked about what our favorite decades were. And I had a good laugh, like re-listening to that. We were all like running down, are you a 70s person, an 80s person, or a 90s person? So that was pretty cool too. You were an 80s person, at least on the show.
Oh, you're going to just give it away like that.
All right, we'll tease it. I won't say what decade I was. People,
I feel like there needs to be. I'm going to talk about decades a second, and then we can wrap. But I feel like there needs to be like a half decade, because really, I graduated high school in 1989, so I'm more of like an 87 to 97 kind of girl. Like that's a different. That was like the end of hair bands, beginning of grunge. That's But that's not an actual decade, but that should be a decade.
Right. It was a transition though, nonetheless. Yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like there's always a transition those last couple years of the decade. So
do you think when like the first Nirvana album like came out and people and Smells Like Teen Spirit became a hit, do you think like those hair bands like Rat and Motley Crue and White Line, do you think they just sat around and just said, oh shit, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, because it was Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all those. Yeah.
So, oh my God.
All of that.
There's a whole bunch of bands making way better music than we're making. What should we do?
Yeah,
get a tighter pair of leather pants.
The interesting thing, you know what? The interesting thing about that though is that prior to the pandemic, all those bands were still touring.
I think they're still touring through the pandemic. Some of them. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe some of them, but not a lot. I did say too, the one band, I mean, I hope concerts come back in some form someday soon. But whenever that happens, I've never seen the Foo Fighters. So it's close to Nirvana as you can get, right? Dave Grohl is amazing, but I've never seen them in person. I would love to see them and Fleetwood Mac, but only here's what I want you to research for me because you're good at that.
Homework. Okay.
Pre-pandemic, Lindsey Buckingham had a meltdown, left Fleetwood Mac again.
Okay.
And now I wonder, will they get back together? Will the pandemic bring them closer? Will they have forgiveness and the desire to be back out on the road together?
Okay. I have the same questions about Three Dog Night. So I will look that up as well while I'm researching that.
All right. Sounds good. Well, listen, let's do a wrap for today. Thanks everyone for watching every single day, sticking with us, all the comments, emails, DMs, all that good stuff. We love you all. And we will see you back here tomorrow.